purpose is to help elevate your day. We bring great stories, educational interviews, topics from within the industry, the latest news of what's happening. Recon Rally also is an ambassador page for the Kevin Byrd Foundation. We bring awesome events to our industry, such as Recon Garage Raffle, Keeping It Real annual fishing tournaments, the Kevin Byrd Golf Tournament, Kick a Car campaign. With your hosts Randy Hobson and Roth, our purpose is to help elevate your day. We bring great stories, educational interviews, topics from within the industry, the latest news of what's happening. Recon Rally also is an ambassador page for the Kevin Byrd Foundation. We bring awesome events to our industry, such as Recon Garage Raffle, Keeping It Real annual fishing tournaments, the Kevin Byrd Golf Tournament, Kick a Car campaign, 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 Kick a Car campaign.
Hello, everybody. Sorry. Good evening out there. Roth here for the Recon Rally and the Recon Garage and the Kevin Byrd Foundation. So I am so excited about who I'm getting ready to bring on. And just a quick note, Randy will not be joining us this evening. He's actually got a family event that he's doing tonight, so he couldn't make it. And anyhow, wish him well, and he's doing great. And he gets to spend some time with a couple of the family members tonight. So I am super stoked. One of my dear friends. I love hanging out with this dude. Everybody in the industry that knows this guy just loves him, and we know how much of a party guy he is, and we know about his beach escapades. And well, with no further ado, I mean, he kind of speaks for himself. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Kevin Byrd. Hey, brother.
What?
What? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Absolutely.
Hey, man, that intro, I thought maybe we were going to have like Post Malone or, little Pearl Jam action, but that was good, right?
So, quick backstory. Randy put that video together for me, and he's like, hey, I made this just for you because I knew you'd like the music and everything. I'm expecting Judas Priest,
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and he sends me that, and I'm like, yeah, you made that for me. Thanks, bro.
That's awesome.
But no, it's a great video. It's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. You guys are busy. You guys are doing a bunch of stuff. So.
Oh, it's been insane. I mean, I love it. But yeah, like you got room to talk, my friend. You've been pretty busy yourself. But yeah, it is. It's insane as to how busy everybody is. I mean, let's face it. All of our brethren out there in the PDR world is stupid busy because of hell. Thank God. As our dear friend Craig Dyer would say, smaller dents and bigger dollars. God willing for all of y'all. But the reality is everybody is super busy right now, including yourself and everything that we do. And Randy has been instrumental in working his butt off trying to get the foundation set up and getting everything going. And I'm trying to get the raffle tickets sold. It's like, people buy tickets, and I'm trying to go online.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and I'm bouncing all over the place, as you know. So
much like I'm just trying to. I had a daughter get married. Michaela and Nick got married in April.
Congratulations!
And then we're back on some fun little vacations that we like to do to the Bahamas and the Keys, and
right,
just have a good time. So we're enjoying life. And still working, of course, but ultimately, I'm done working 7 days a week and killing myself. So,
well, you get to our age, my friend. You deserve that. I don't know what that's like, but
it's different. You
It
know,
is.
it's I think you pick the stuff that you really want to do. And some of the stuff you realize like I don't have to do that, but I have a guy that will do that. And that's kind of what I do. I'm like, that's not for me. But I have another guy that he's young and he'll stretch his shoulders out and put his elbow in, yeah, it's good. So I can't
It's
complain.
funny that you say that. I had a buddy of mine show up because I'm down in, if y'all don't know, I'm down in Texas right now. I actually fly out tomorrow. I'm down in Texas at the Dean King location here. I've been here for a week and a half, and I had a buddy of mine come by, and he did me a big favor yesterday morning, and he's like, "Hey, I'll trade you. You fix a dent in the truck, I'll do this favor for you." And I'm like, "Cool." F-350 crease about this long in the driver's door, way down
Love
low, and
it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"How do I get myself into this crap?" It's like I'm getting too old for this shit. I can still do it. I just don't want to. You know?
Now the old days, think about the tools you would have chosen. Like you would have had that Steck. Remember that old Steck, the door jammer, the
Oh
old
yeah.
one. You'd
Oh
have
yeah.
that. And you'd probably put if you took the time to take the door panel out, you have plenty of access. But you'd have to take like a little Bertha or a big Bertha, and you'd have to use duct tape around the end. Just
Oh hell no, dude! I got a Willie Quick door jammer in there. Tighten the door up. I've got two Kiko bridges on there, glue pulling this thing. I pull most of it up.
that's awesome.
I get in there with one sharp tool and all right, you're done. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's a lot different these days. And I tell you what, I love the way our industry's gone. Love the way the tool companies just keep innovation where it is. It's just impressive.
Oh, it is.
So
It is. It is like, I mean, dude, some of the stuff that's coming out these days, it's like, I think I mentioned the other day when we were talking, it's like, Chris and Danny from Kiko were out at our place in California a few weekends ago, and just talking to Chris and some of the stuff, and he was showing me pictures of they just released the new pull tower and
yeah,
the
I
new
saw that.
lateral. I mean, it's like, where was this 15 years ago?
Yeah, we didn't have that.
Oh
You
God,
know, I still answer when guys like, "What's the best glue?" And I'm like, "Man, everyone knows it's Elmer's school glue is the best. I mean, it's undefeated at school."
grandma's craft glue, right? I
No,
know,
there's
I
so
know.
many. It's fun.
There-
It's of course, I like to use Facebook as entertainment, but ultimately, there's a lot of really good knowledge.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about, my friend. Hey, let me just throw a couple of shout
Oh,
outs on here. The McMahon family is on here with us.
all
Um,
right. Hey, Jeff.
Stefan's on here. We were just talking about
Stefan.
you, Pat. Woo! Yeah, well, I'll see you this weekend, brother. Um, Biggs is on here with us too.
Awesome. Hey, Biggs. What's up?
Hey, hey, Biggs. I was just talking with Mr. Dyer the other day, and I got to throw a shout out to Mr. Biggs, and he's going to reach through the Facebook and choke me for this, but I hope you guys know the kind of human being that guy is.
He's amazing.
He just, if there was more people on this planet like Michael Biggs, it would be a much better planet. Truthfully, he's just an honest, good dude. You know,
Agreed. I
and
mean,
go
when he
ahead.
shows up in any town, people just throw money at him. It's the craziest thing.
Wait a minute. Is that for tools or just because they love Michael Biggs? I mean,
I'm going to go with both. How about that?
that's fair. Vinny just jumped on here too. What's up, Vinny? But no,
Hi, Vinny.
I just wanted to say that real quick because I mean I was talking to Kirk the other day and we were talking about Michael and Mike
Yeah,
Biggs is really just an awesome dude and love the guy
agreed.
and I'm honored to be able to call him my friend
Yeah, me too. And hey,
and
Vinny,
I have for
speaking
a
of
long
that,
time.
Vinny and Mel just celebrated a nice little anniversary.
They did.
Ah,
And Vinny took a
happy
little time
anniversary.
off. I heard. Yeah, happy anniversary, you guys.
They did a little float down the river.
I know. I saw that. And had a few partying partners with
I
them.
like it. Yeah.
I do too. That was awesome. But yeah, I was over at Anson because they were open this last Saturday, 9 to 1 or something. They're going to be open this coming Saturday because they're closed for a couple of days around 4th of July. And I walked in the door and I'm like, "Where's Vinny?" And Christina was like, "Yeah, he actually took some time off, so I missed seeing him." But
Amazing. I
yeah,
love it. He deserves it.
he does.
Unfortunately, the Bears aren't playing the Bucks, so I won't see him here in Tampa this year. But I have a feeling we'll still get together at some point.
I have a feeling you might see him a couple of times.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hey, Brandon, Mr. Schmidt just jumped on here.
Hello, Brandon Schmitz.
Hello, Brandon.
We had a nice little
Awesome.
chat today as well. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I miss
We got
Brandon. I haven't got a chance to talk to him in forever. He never calls me.
We have some new swag coming out for next year at MT. So
for the
that would be a DBAP.
DBAP. Yes. The DBAP, the DBAP.
It's fun.
I'll say it. Don't be a puss.
It's fine. It works. We're planning already for that.
I would certainly hope. Brandon just said, "Hey, Dad." Brandon, you better be talking about Kevin, bro.
Of course.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Before we go too far with that, how old are you? I've never asked you.
I'm 40.
Oh, well, then you are then you are older than I am. Okay.
No, man, I just turned 54. Yeah.
God damn it. I am so sick and tired of being one of the older ones around here. I'm 55, asshole.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you about, okay, Skip Phipps.
Yeah.
Our beloved Skip, who is my original trainer 20 years ago, right? Do you know I didn't know until about 5 years ago at a Christmas party that I'm 5 years older than Skip?
That's awesome.
Skip has looked like Santa since I've known him. He looked exactly like that 20 years ago when I trained with him. He still looks like that today. And I find out I'm 5 years older than him because he's 50. I'm 55.
Do you ever fix a dent, and you feel so strong, you're like, man, I feel good. And then you look at your reflection in the glass, and you're like, whoa, who the hell's that? Who's that guy?
I may or may not know what you're referring to, my friend.
I don't mind it, man. I feel good.
I don't either. It is what it is, and I love what I do, and I love this industry, and I'm thrilled with living life.
Agreed.
And you know what? You know what's fun for we know you're older, Michael. I was trying to leave you out of that. Hey, Jeremy. You want to throw a number out there, Bigsy? Go for it. I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know.
We've got guys in their 60s and 70s still pushing dents all the time. And
absolutely.
They're good. They're great technicians. So
absolutely.
I don't know if we have anyone in their 80s, but still, it doesn't matter. Age is a number, and they're out there getting exercise and have a sense of purpose. So, I don't know how you retire because it's a fun job. It's like you get some, it's just I don't know. I mean, it's fun. It's nice. You're pleasing.
I agree. I mean, and because I'm in the situation I'm in, I don't get a chance to actually, do a hail car as often as I'd like to anymore. Right. But to this day, I still love it. I absolutely, Kevin, you got to be close to 70. Jeremy, Nate. But I still love putting the headphones on. It's still relaxing to me. I enjoy it. Just going in and leave me alone. Let me put the headphones on and just push dents. I still enjoy it after all these years. So I don't want to stop.
Me too. It's fun.
I mean, my shoulder kind of wants me to, but Hey, but you know what's cool? We get the we get the opportunity to be the mentors and the OGs, for lack of a better term, to look at how many younger guys we've got in the industry today that are really up and coming and doing really good work.
They're great. Yeah, they're great.
They are great. Honestly, my friend, they're kind of scary good, really. let's face it, some of them are, and it's like, hey, come on, bring it.
I'll subcontract to him anytime.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Well, it's like you and I were talking earlier today when I told you that Manny called me out on a podcast several years ago, the last time I did the competition, when I did the den trials, and I'm like, and he's like, you think you still got it, old man? I'm like, no, apparently not. But
That's the year he won that year, didn't he? Yeah, Manny won. Year one in Vegas. We did the den trials.
I think you're right. I think
Manny
you're right.
Lopez took it, and then Miroslav. Yeah, it was a good time. And then John Vidic.
Oh yeah, football.
Yeah.
The machine. The machine.
He's great.
Did you see Brandon's comment just now? How was it
I
pushing
can't
dents
see
with
it.
wood? Oh, Brandon just said, how was it pushing dents with wooden tools when y'all got off the boats?
It was great. Not
It
gonna
was
lie,
great.
man.
Hey, when you can push with a wooden spoon and tap down with a golf tee.
My first knockdown was made of ivory. We had to go for an elephant tusk, and anyway, the elephant. It was.
My
I
first
I could do this all day.
my first whale tail was made out of flint. Hey, we used to chisel our estimates in stone.
Man, I have a guy. I had the wooden window wedges, and he's like, "What are those?" I'm like, "Those are window wedges," And he's like, "What?" They make them out of plastic. Oh, I didn't.
What's
and now we have ones with lights in them and pump up. Anyway, it's.
What's
I love
plastic?
It. Yeah.
Wait,
man-made?
You had a wedge? I just shoved my fingers in between the belt molding and the protector.
The worst is when you're working on an old fit 40s or 50s car and the glass on it is so thick and you're like, there's no way I'm putting a wedge and a window guard in there. Right. And when you do and you hear that, you're like, that's not a good sound.
Yeah, but you know what? That's true. But you know what is fun? That metal. I got an opportunity.
I agree.
The last time, and I love working on classics, but I worked on a buddy of mine's 66, I think it was 64, 66 Impala.
Love them.
Yep. Here several months ago, the boat, the one that's 42 feet long, and gnarly crease in the quarter panel. But I could get through it through the little back crank window because it was a coupe. Yeah. And man, once I was able to get to it, that metal,
it's great.
I was having flashbacks. It was like, you could do anything you wanted to, and it just, it's awesome. That old metal was great.
I'll still do work with Meekum, and I've done some stuff with Barrett Jackson, but the problem with Barrett Jackson is all the cars are perfect that come in there. It's like,
oh yeah,
call me if you need me,
right,
or fly me where you need me, But I love the old classics.
Josh Raposa just said they will never understand inventor hail lights and extension cords and why you kept extra warm and cool bulbs in your truck. Nothing like the sound of a fluorescent exploding during a wind gust.
Hey, Josh, I still have my inventor light that Chris and I built. I was in his shop one day, and I learned a lot about tools. He had a lot of the benders and the metal stuff, and I would just go in there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Go ahead and finish your lunch, man. I know what I'm doing." And I'd go back in there in his little bargain bin for $10, and I'd take some tools. And he's like, "What are you using that for?" I had a dealership less than a mile away, so I would go make tools at lunchtime.
And go back and finish the dent you couldn't get to.
It was great, man.
Well, some of us didn't get to live that life of luxury, my friend.
But at the same time, shortly thereafter, Anson and Den Craft, they were an A1. Jerry Blem was an innovator as well, and still is to this day. I mean, that guy's just what a badass when it comes to metal and welding. So, and his kids are great too. But all the tool companies, I mean, they're fantastic, and they give so much.
my old business partner and mentor, Lucky Loomis, who so few people in the industry know, a few people do. He did nothing but wholesale stuff in the Arlington area. Our shop was right down the street on Division Street from the original Anson many, many, many years ago. And shortly after I started, Lucky gave me a rod, and I still have it on my cart right now, this day at Dinking in California. It's one of Jerry Blem's original rods. It's probably a 30-inch rod, maybe about a 30-inch, just the 45-degree little bullet tip. It's so worn down. It's got 3/8 fuel line hose on as the handle. But to this day, it's still one of my favorite rods of all time. It's 3/8 diameter, so it fits
Nice.
places that nothing
Yeah.
else does, and it's just the quintessential perfect rod. I love that rod. I do.
Great. Yeah, it's a
And
great rod.
it's one of his original rods from, Moby Dick was a minnow, and it's awesome. I still love that rod.
Oh, it's fantastic. We
Yeah.
were in the elevator years ago with Tom Harris, who owned Dent Doctor, and Carrie and I, and his wife, and I said, yeah, I said, man, I had some old Dent Doctors train me way back when, back in the 90s. And he goes, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, still got some tools. And he goes, well, those tools belong to the company. I'm like, you had to pry them out of my cold, dead hands, because he laughed.
Oh, I know.
By the end of MTE, he's like, hey, Kev, let me get your number, and I'll send you some leads. He didn't know how busy I was at the time either. So I was like, oh, thanks,
Right.
man. I appreciate you. But yeah, you're not getting those Dent Doctor tools back.
No,
I still have them.
well, and it's everybody. It's one of the things I tell my guys all the time. It's like we all have we're all so different. That we have our favorites. That doesn't mean mine's right, and it doesn't mean yours is wrong. Your favorite tool is your favorite tool, and it's what your go-to is. Mine's
Right.
mine, and we're both right, and we're both wrong. So it's like there's certain tools that it's just what I reach for. It's like if I can get this, to this day, one of my favorite tools, hands down, overall. I've probably pushed more dents with this tool than any other tool I own. Is the red 3-inch Dentcraft Welltail, the
Yeah.
standard width. I'd fix an entire hood with that one tool if I could get it to every dent. I love that tool.
I use it every day.
Exactly. But where, like I said, my old buddy Lucky, his was the little shorty, I don't know, what is it, probably a 2.5-inch Dentcraft hand tool with the screwdriver handles. That was him. He did the old, the elbow on the knee trick, sitting down at the hood and pushing that's who he was,
The RDI 24 is the best tool ever made.
Why is that, Kevin?
Yeah. Listen, I can put it down a door and put it in a fender. I mean, it's
Hey, Joshua, dude. No, we ain't nobody need to go to the ER. Joshua said, I think we need a Ford Taurus bodyline dent for an over 40 Special Olympics. Wait, is this a over 40 Dent Olympics or an over 40 Special Olympics? Which is this?
We talked about that.
I know we did.
Let's get some older guys, and bring some old cars in there. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. I mean, these guys. We need to take vision.
You and I talked about it. Oxygen, banana bags. I mean, I'm down.
It's not gonna happen.
I know, of course, it's not. We know. That's because
it's a lot. What goes into those competitions? What people don't realize is it has to be feasible to be done in a day or two. You've got to be able to fix that dent in the allotted time.
Right.
So we make sure we test it to make sure that, hey, this is fixable in an hour, 45 minutes. So,
Jeremy, I just said I was down. Don't be no DPAP on me, bro. I'm good. I'm down. I know. Well, and we were talking about doing the competitions earlier about how guys don't understand until you've done one. Guys that have never done one don't understand. It's like you can take you could take Iceman from Top Gun, and you put him in the Den Olympics ring. Thanks, Jeremy. He just said, "All right, DBAP, Kevin. Sorry, Lee."
Come on, man. Why don't you come work with me one day? You'll love it.
You can take somebody with ice water in their veins, and you put them in that ring with that dent, with everybody standing around, and it's a different world. And guys
Definitely
don't
different.
understand that. It
Yeah,
really is.
They don't. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I mean, honestly, I give absolutely. I mean, and I know I go in there and I dress up and I do all what I do, and I'm so fortunate what I get to do for MTE and the Olympics. And we know he dies. Really, Jeremy, come on. But I know I'm acting a fool and everything, but kudos to every guy that steps in that ring to do whatever competition they're doing, whether it's the tag team, the actual Olympics, the dent trials in Vegas, the beginner competition. Hey, I'll say it. It takes balls. You got to have the guts to get in there and do it. Period. And anybody that steps in there to do it is a winner in my book. Just having the guts to get in there and do it.
Speaking of which, this is the first time we're having the beginner competition in Vegas.
I know.
We tried the relay was, just didn't work. It was the dents. Yeah. Anyway, besides that, we're doing a beginner competition. We're gonna have 3 steel hoods, and the idea is that we're gonna have 12 spots, so 4 dents per hood, right?
Right.
3 hoods. They'll be on hood stands.
So they're not oil canned before they start.
And they're gonna be. We put some crazy dents in there. I mean, we did.
Cratered those things.
I'm like, Anyway, but they're fixable. What we're gonna do, they're gonna be fixable, and we'd like the trainer to sponsor their student and pay the student's way in, and there'll be prizes. There'll be prizes for those top 3. So that's for the beginner competition. But for the dent trials, as you know, it's an hour and a half per competitor, and we'll probably have 16 people, possibly 20 in Vegas, which we're working out the details still, but it's going to be good. I know registration is, if it's not open, it will be, but that's 3 dents. That's the Den Olympic dent. We'll have a roof rail blue pole dent, and we'll have a pretty hard crease in the fender.
Brandon just asked a question. Are the beginners group admins competing in the beginner Olympics?
I don't know. I hope they do. Actually, I hope they. It's under 2 years verified by their trainer, and if they learned online, we can trace that back as well. So, I mean, I can ask a few questions, and I can pretty much tell how long someone's been fixing dents, just based on let me see your tools. Okay, they're still nice and shiny. So,
right.
But I'm excited.
Well, I was like I was telling you today. I'm trying to talk. There's a little girl up north, and I'm like I told you. I think she's in Wisconsin. I can't remember off the top of my head. She's going to text me when she sees this and bitch at me. Her name's Tatum. She was 18 when I trained her about 6-8 months ago, and I think she's 19 now. This little girl's a badass. She actually reminds me of Adrian.
Bring her in. Come on.
That PDR girl, and I'm trying to talk her into doing it and doing the beginner, because she really is. I'd love to see her in it. And self promotion. I've got two of my former students that are actually entering the trials as well.
Perfect.
So
right.
I'm stoked about that too. So hey, bring it on, gentlemen.
Yeah, it is going to be a different competition than last year. We've evolved. We've kind of learned. I mean, this is a brand new show that we're doing. It's still in the early stages, because we went from having an MTE to now we're just doing a PDR Expo, which, by the way, you got to admit, is pretty fantastic, since Convex went and bought a detail show, and now MTE's absorbed that. So they're not doing a detail fest or detail show in Southern Detail Conference. They're not doing that. They put everything to MTE, which I think is great. And who knows what'll spin off of that. But for a PDR Expo I would just tell everyone, hey, give it 3 or 4 years, because what happened early with MTE is exactly what we're seeing now. The infancy and the build up, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, you know what, it's Vegas.
Right. Well,
So
and that's the whole thing. I mean, my personal opinion about the PDR Expo was, and you and I've talked about this, is of course it's a smaller show than MTE. We all know that.
yeah,
But I loved how close everybody was able to talk and get together and really network. And I realize for the vendors, because I've talked to several vendors, that have said, I don't know, I want to go, but does it? People don't really get the fact that, and I'll call him out. I was talking to Ray West today from Classy Estimating, and love you, Ray,
come
but
on, Ray.
Ray's on the fence, and yes, I'm calling you out, my friend. I'm sorry, but I was explaining to him that, like, yeah, I get it. MTE's got a much bigger draw. I know that, but you could have conversations at PDR Expo that you don't get to have with everyone, let alone your customers at MTE, just because MTE is just so busy. Look at the different vendors. Look at the A1 booth, the Anson booth, the Kiko booth, the Deckcraft booth. How hard is it to walk up and talk to Holly? It's
I mean,
not gonna happen, right? As much
yeah,
as we all love Holly, she doesn't have time to sit there and talk to people. Well,
she's so busy. And
right, but
after the show, yeah, we're all drinking
of
together, having a
course,
good time. That's one thing.
absolutely.
But work is over.
Absolutely.
At, you know,
But in Vegas, you've got more time to spend,
oh
have a
yeah,
little bit more time to spend and talk to people. And the people that really matter are there talking to everybody else that matters. And it's just, you know what, if nothing else, it's Vegas. It was a fun time.
well
It
that
really
and
was.
you can get questions answered that normally if you like you're
And that's
stuck on
true.
you're like I don't know how this works or how Mobile Tech RX, they'll be there. Guys have questions. Hey, you know what? They're coming out with some new product that is going to be beneficial to the entire industry. So
Hmm.
I'm not saying go with them or, of course I love Mike Bodwell from Detonate. I mean,
Right.
all these software companies, they need
Hmm.
your support. So,
Oh, absolutely.
and they show up. So
Yeah,
they'll answer your questions and you figure out what's best for you. It's a win-win. So
absolutely. Well, and speaking of support, did you think I was going to get out of this without throwing a little bit of talk here? Um, you know, you and I were talking about the Kevin Halewood Foundation earlier when we first jumped on here, and about Randy and everything that we've done and stuff. And it's like, everybody out there, we so greatly appreciate the support for the Kevin Halewood Foundation, and it's such a great cause trying to help out the technicians in our industry, and not just the PDR side, but the detail side and the coding side and everywhere. Um, oh, looky there, one of the guys that entered the debt trials just jumped on here, Ben Johnson. Um, but
hi Ben.
we need everyone's help, not just from a donation standpoint, buying the raffle tickets and everything that's going on, but we need people's help just sharing posts. We need to get the word out. So anybody that's out there, please, by all means, we would appreciate it. And I'm not going to go on a tangent, I promise. But anytime that somebody can share one of the Kevin Halewood posts, or the Recon Garage, or the raffle ticket post, please, we would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, because we've actually been able to help 3 technicians so far this year.
That's nice. You see Dave's hair grew back too.
I haven't talked to Dave, but I've seen a little bit of clips that, yeah, he's actually grew it back. And
Don't call him now. He should be sleeping. He's in Spain.
I think bald is beautiful, but that's just me. I think this is the first time that there's only been one of us bald on the podcast live at a time.
I haven't lost any hair yet, so I don't know when that's gonna. I mean, who knows? Anyway,
I'm happy to be bald. So
I'm kidding.
I'll just put that out there. No, I know you are.
What's funny is you see a lot of the guys that are bald, and you see old pictures of them, and you're like, who the hell's that? Andrew Kinsey. I'm like, who's that guy with the blonde hair, man? Check in.
No, I got to tell you what happened at the Anson open house. It was May 4th, right? May the 4th be with you, right? And everybody's hanging out. We're having a great time. And most of us were in Anson the Fourth Be With You T-shirts, right? So Chelsea flew in because I was already in town. Chelsea, my girlfriend Chelsea, flew in for the weekend. And at one point, she was like, "I was looking for you. Do you have any idea how hard it was to find a bald guy at Anson that in a Anson T-shirt?" I'm like, "Sorry, babe."
Were there 100? I mean, listen,
There,
it
there was
probably
like
looked. I was gonna say it must have looked like a Blue Man Group audition,
there
right?
was like at one point there was like 15 of us walking around Anson, including Dave at that point. And she's like, "Screw it, I can't find it." I'm
That's
like,
funny.
"Thanks,
You
thank
know,
you."
they're doing a lot of things too. They've been obviously very busy. All the tool companies have, and it's hard to meet the supply. And of course, you know, you've got
Oh yeah.
it's. I mean, without the supply, it's hard to meet the demand, and it's been challenging last couple of years because we just keep getting a lot of new techs and a lot of new hail. So
Oh yeah, and it's so difficult. I mean, and anybody that doesn't realize that, they're like, "Ah, God, they're out of this, they're out of that." You have any idea how hard it is for these vendors to keep up with stuff? I mean,
it's hard.
it is hard. I mean, especially when you get two back-to-back hail years like we've had. I mean, let's face it, we've had the two of the biggest hail years in the last 25, 30 years in a row. There you there's you can't prepare for years like we have. There's just
No,
there's only so many tools you can produce in a certain amount of time, you know. And kudos to all of them trying to keep up between Anson and A1 and Dentcraft and PDR
yeah,
Finesse and I mean everybody. I mean the Ken Garrisons of the world and John Vidine and Dent Reaper and just everybody's trying to keep up. And you know,
Matt Boyette. I mean,
yeah, Matt Boy and
Matt's
Matt
making some great tools.
and Excalibur
Yeah,
and Rob Willie Quick. And I
Rick.
mean, just
Yeah,
everybody's trying. You know, VIP. I'm trying not to forget somebody, but obviously I will. But everybody's trying
they're
to
all
keep,
amazing. Yeah, they're
and you
all.
can't. And everybody's doing the best they can. And God bless them. And congratulations on the hail years. And for that matter, to all the guys out there that are just killing it on the hail trail. I mean, it's an amazing couple of years. It's awesome to see.
Imagine going to MTE or PDR Expo and trying to talk to every single vendor. You know, it's difficult, but of course we have a better chance at the expo. But you know, we're probably going to end up doing like one of the, one of those sticker books or stamp things. Like, go see every vendor, and the guy who gets the most wins something. You know, great. I don't know.
Wait a
Or
minute. You mean kind of like I did a couple of years ago with the stickers on my head?
you did have a lot of stickers on your head.
I did.
You
And see,
did.
if I wasn't bald, I couldn't have done that. I literally promoted everybody on my head.
You did. It was great.
I tried.
You know, we're
And then Holly
planning
put
already.
the tattoo on the back of my head.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. It's going to be just an awesome event. I don't
It really
I don't
will.
know if you saw I don't know if you saw Dan Slayer's video, but I did a video with him and I said, if you're not there, it's your fault.
Well,
If you miss this, it's your fault.
bear in mind, my costume is still up for auction. I don't even know what I'm going to be wearing yet. It's on the Kevin Hellwood auction
Ooh,
page, up
I
for
think
up for
Woody's
auction.
picking your Woody's got your costume already. It should be in the mail.
What, in an envelope?
It was a small I don't know,
My friend, ain't nobody want to see that. But seriously, I've told, and it was funny. I guess Christina missed that on a podcast. She didn't notice. She didn't realize it the other day. And when I was at Anson, I was talking to her Saturday, and she goes, "Wait, what?" I said, "Yeah, I'm auctioning off my costume for PDR Expo," and she's like, "Hmm." I'm like, "You better get your bid in quick because
Yeah.
the highest bidder gets to pick my costume." You know, I
Nice.
know. I've thrown our good buddy Woody under the bus because you know how much I love Woody.
He doesn't care.
I know
Trust
he
me,
doesn't.
he's
I adore Woody. Woody
yeah.
and I've been buds for years, and I've said no Woody costumes, no tea bags, no thongs. Tights are questionable. So other than that, it's pretty much open game.
Okay. All right.
So
Well, give you some news here that I don't know if everyone knows it's going to PDR Expo,
All
but
right.
there is a concert. There is a free
Really?
concert Saturday night after the expo.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not U2 again. Bro, I don't have my glasses on. What are you doing to me?
That is Sublime will be playing stage 3 on Fremont.
Really?
Sublime with Rome. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Now
So,
he's finishing out his contract with Sublime, and then
gotcha.
this is the last time you'll see Sublime with Rome. So if you get a chance, we've seen him several times. They're fantastic. His voice is. They do a lot of great Sublime songs,
That's
and they're just
cool.
entertaining. So we will be there. I think I look forward more to see that than I do. I mean, U2's great. Don't get me wrong, but the hype of the band, I mean,
That'll be
Sublime is
awesome.
Sublime,
I mean,
the songs are
I mean,
iconic.
I have to be selfish. That sounds awesome, and I can't wait. I mean, you know me, I'll be there. I'll probably be sparkly. I mean,
Yeah,
I was hoping you were going to say something about our buddy Jay, and they were going to pull a concert off.
I would
But
love that. Yeah,
wouldn't that be? I mean, for
we're
those of y'all, if y'all
we're
don't
working on
know Jay Gearhart, guy's been around our industry for Kevin. How long do you know? 20 years,
a
20
long
something like that.
time. Yeah, yeah,
And if y'all don't know, or you don't know him personally, first of all, Jay's an amazing dude. But
he's
Jay's
awesome.
the lead singer of State of Mind, and these guys are incredible. I was so pray. I was not again. I feel bad now that you're talking about Sublime, and Sublime's cool. They're awesome. That is going to be super fun. But to have Jay play a concert at the PDR Expo, wouldn't that be cool?
I think we're gonna try. We've been talking about doing something with at MTE.
Mm,
So I
I would love that.
that's out of my control. I mean, I want to facilitate the best I possibly can, but
Yeah.
you know, I have no problem
Well,
calling Jay. And Jay, if you're
you know,
watching,
well, I constantly I play their stuff when I'm in the in
yeah,
the ring all the time. I play State of Mind stuff a lot. Yes, they
it's
are, Nick. They are awesome.
it's kind of crazy because I was going to make something up and spread rumors that someone was playing, but I don't have to now because Sublime is actually playing.
That's cool. That really is. That was so fun because you know what? That was the first time I've been on Fremont Street since right after COVID. And if any of y'all were down there right after COVID, that place was a wreck. There were metal detectors. It was just none of the bars were outside built like that. It was just a pitiful mess. And when you first told me that we were going to be at the plaza on Fremont, I'm like, really? And you assured me, and you were absolutely right, my friend. You were like, no, trust me. And I'm like, okay. And
It
no,
was awesome.
it was an awesome time. It really was.
So let me go over the fact that we're going to have Thursday night party and a Friday night party. It's not a pub crawl. It's whatever you decide that's going to happen. But if you're a part of that group after the whole day of setting up and going out to eat, and then all of a sudden you find yourself on Fremont with all of us, I can assure you it's going to be a good time.
I can assure you, you're correct, my friend.
And there'll be some swag too. I don't know yet the design, but there is definitely stuff being made currently for the Fremont Street Experience and PDR Expo collaboration. So there you go.
That's awesome. That'll
Yeah.
be fabulous. You, you want me to, hey, do you want me to tell you about what happened on Fremont? Tell the story about what happened on Fremont Street? It was
That's need to stay
your
in Fremont.
with the picture of your wife.
Hmm.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I went in early, which
Right.
was
No,
needed.
this is how ironic. And John's been on here for a minute, and John was in the picture as well. Okay, so it's a funny story. No, I'm not giving anybody's secrets away. Nobody was naked. So it just so happens that my girlfriend Chelsea and her parents and her whole family was there that same weekend because her brother was getting married. Right now, we weren't officially together at that time. I'll just leave it at there. But anyhow, all of a sudden, I got back from the PDR Expo, right? Chelsea sends me this picture, and she's like, "Oh my God," right? So she goes, "Do you know them?" So there was a picture of John Vidine and your wife, Carrie, in the yellow Dent Reaper shirts,
Yeah.
right? With this lady, just a random lady that they took a picture with. That random lady, and I have the picture, it's in my phone.
It was
That random lady
your
is
mother-in-law.
Chelsea's mom. Yes. It was
I remember
completely
that.
coincidental. It was
That's so
awesome.
awesome.
I died laughing.
That's
I
so
was like,
funny.
Chelsea and I still laugh about it regularly. It's
That
hilarious.
usually happens at Hogs and Heifers down on the back street there. Crazy. I mean,
It
guys
was
like, I didn't
great.
make it there. I'm like, how do you not make it? I mean, that was a fun night. We went to all those bars.
Hmm.
A lot of people did not eat dinner, so the alcohol took effect immediately. And yeah,
I'll neither confirm nor deny that I know what you're referring to. It
but it was a good time. And then the next
was
day,
a good day.
we're all at the expo again, just
That's
having a
it.
good time.
It's
Here we
like,
go.
I'm on the mic Saturday morning going, "Hi, welcome to the PDR Expo." Yeah, it's so much fun.
Kudos to Sheldon and his crew though. They to put that on,
Yeah.
and they're it's just not MTE and PDR Expo. They're in charge of a lot of shows.
Oh, and they just took on that new one. They're doing that
The
food truck show
food
too.
truck,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. They have a lot going. They have way more going on throughout the year than what people realize they do.
they're able to support a show like MTE, and Kevin took it to a great spot. He
Oh
built
yeah.
that thing. He had the right people. We had a great time, and the resources were there. And he's like, "Hey, it's time for me to pass the torch." And
Mhm.
when he did, I'm like, "Well, are you sure?" I'm like, "Well, do I be friends with them too?" Because I mean, Kevin and I were
Right.
great friends for years,
Oh,
and
of course, y'all were.
I was his dent guy for so long, and we just
He's
we had a great bond. It was good.
he was
But
uh he
he
was
would bring
something
me
special.
stuff. He's like, "You can fix that, right?" I'm like, "Man, I'm not a body shop, but you know what? I'm gonna try because it's you asking." And then
Right.
I would push him. And he goes, "That looks great." I'm like, "Okay, as long as you think so, I'm good."
Well, don't you love the fact that Kevin's vision was our average retail customer's vision? That's our 70. Their hundreds are 70.
You know, we're all realistic.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, we're not that picky. We want to have a good time, do our jobs, and just laugh and smile and make this hopefully make the industry better than when we came in. So,
Yeah. Um, One of our buddies, Rodney Vance, jumped in here a
I
minute
lose
ago.
you.
Nick,
There you go.
yeah, you got choppy for a second. Rodney Vance
Hi,
jumped in
Rodney.
a few minutes ago, and Nick Priest has been commenting. Nick, you said that was your first year at MTE. Which year are you referring to? Um, for those of you that don't know Rodney, Rodney's just an awesome dude. You know Rodney, Kevin, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
So
he's awesome.
I had the pleasure, and this was so much fun. I really did. I can't. I have to say it. When we at the beginning of the year, right after MTE, we had the Kevin Hellwood auctions, and the last one, Nick, yeah, absolutely. This last one was amazing. It's probably the greatest one ever. Um, that right after we had the Kevin Hellwood auctions. Well, I was fortunate enough to be able to donate a 2-week training course from Dean King. Well, Rodney bought the auction. He won the auction, and he gave it to his son for Taylor for
Oh,
his training.
nice.
So Taylor came in and did 2 weeks with me, and I scheduled it around Kiko being there because Kiko was out, as I told you, for that weekend a few weeks ago. So Taylor got a chance to do the Kiko training as well. Taylor is such an awesome dude, and he looks like he's 15. He's actually 33, and he did amazing in his training. And it was just such a blast to be able to work with Taylor. So
That's
especially
cool.
him being Ronnie's son. So it was just awesome. So
Yeah, Rodney's a good guy for sure. I hope he makes it to
Uh,
Vegas.
Ben Johnson just asked, "Do you guys happen to know when the registration for the beginner trials open on the website?" Ben, are you talking about the Dent trials or the beginners competition? That's two different competitions. And Ben Johnson's actually one of my guys.
All right. Well,
I know.
I can tell you, it's gonna be one heck of a competition. I mean, guys are like, I need 2 spots, I need 3 spots, and I'm like, I know they're gonna go, and I don't know if you saw the prizes, but if you win the Dent Trials, did you see the prize they're giving away?
No, I haven't.
They're giving you free airfare, domestic. They're giving you 3 night stay at the Gaylord Palms and automatic entry into the Dent Olympics.
Oh,
Round trip air.
hell. Oh, damn.
I'm like, wow, awesome.
Right?
So the second prize gets all of that except the airfare. So they get a room and automatic entry. So this Dent Trials competition is going to be really something.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I thought so too. I'm like, wow, man, that's
You know what's really cool about that is because let's face it, because it's Vegas, I think one of the big differences between MTE and the Expo, besides some of the obvious, and Ben just said the beginner competition. One of the biggest differences I think is that, let's face it, going across country, because I do it every year now, going across country is a long trip. It's time consuming, it's exhausting, everything. So a lot of guys from, let's say, the Rocky Mountains west, and there's a ton of techs in the California, Washington,
tons.
Oregon,
Yeah,
Colorado, all those states, the mountain states and the western states, that it's just hard for them to make that trip. That might be an incentive for some of them to jump into that competition with the hopes of just getting a full paid trip to MTE where they may not normally come.
right. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hey, I'm in California. I'm going to drive to Vegas.
Right.
Hopefully, win first or second. I mean, I mean, the competition level is crazy these days.
Absolutely. It's insane. I mean, just watching, and hey, I love doing what I do for you and MTE and Sheldon and the
Thank
dental
you. I
owners.
appreciate you. You know
I
that.
love it. I am so glad to be able to do what I do and not have to try to judge that, because judging that competition, it has gotten so tight and so close. The top 10, it's almost impossible. It's so difficult to pick a winner out of the top 10. They're
And
so close.
it's a blind judging. We don't
Oh,
watch the
absolutely.
competitors.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
none of the judges. And I let the judge. Hey, go do your thing, walk around, have a good time. When
Right.
it's time to judge, I will contact you. We'll judge the event, and then if by chance there's a tie,
Right.
unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, at MTE, we went back to like using our eyes and having conversations about first through, 5,
Right.
which by the way was not easy.
Yeah.
So we're going to be probably switching, the platform, but ultimately our goal is to get it right every time. We want all these guys to realize that, hey, it's very fair judging. It's if you have an issue, contact me and I'll be more than happy to address it.
Yeah. I mean,
But we
it
want to
is.
make sure that it's phenomenal. So
It's gotten so close because the guys have gotten so good, and it's really incredible. It really is.
yeah,
It's impressive. It's flat out impressive as to how close it's gotten, how good everybody is.
over the last, I don't know. I mean, I've been judging a long time, but I look at the dance and like, I'd hire that guy right
Yeah.
now. I'd hire.
Yeah. And you're talking about some of the ones that weren't in the top 10. I know.
Doesn't even matter. I'm like,
I know.
I'd hire him too.
Right. I
Just
know.
based on principle. Where do you live, sir? No, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
Let me see. I think I've got a dealer there. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
is the beginner competition not open on the site yet?
not open yet.
Okay.
But when it does, like we said, make sure we would really want the sponsored. It's a sponsored event from the
Correct.
trainer.
Correct.
And if you don't have a trainer and you learned online or you're self-taught, reach out to me and we'll make sure that, hey, we'll get you a spot too,
Right.
and it's a circumstance.
Mhm.
But ultimately, the trainers are coming in, bringing their top
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 people, and it's going to be good. So yeah, Ryan Menu won last year,
Yeah.
and Thomas Potter was in there too,
Mhm.
and I think Nick Gill was up
Yep.
there.
He
It
was.
was really, it was a
Yep.
good event, and I think those guys are all, they're all competing in the Den Olympics these days.
Yeah.
So
I've got to call. I need to call Nick. I haven't talked to him in a couple of months, so I'm not sure if he's going to jump in there for the Olympics or the trials or not. So I'm sure
oh
he'll
no,
be.
he is. Did you like that?
Thank you.
It's not. It wasn't a question. It's a
Oh,
statement. So
oh,
if Nick you're watching and
gotcha.
you have a problem, call me. You're doing it.
Yeah. Don't forget that's my boy.
He's good. He did
Yeah,
good.
Nick's awesome. I mean, he's just a
Yeah,
good dude, and he's fun to
he
be
really
around.
is.
And
He's funny.
he is. He really is.
I mean, most
He,
dead guys are entertaining because you gotta. I mean, and girls. I mean, you gotta have a certain. You gotta have some confidence.
hey, I'll throw him under the bus right this second. Speaking of beginners, I'm gonna put Taylor in there.
Do it.
Rodney, tell Taylor to call me. I am. I'm gonna put him in there.
Okay.
He did that good in training.
I
He
like
really
it.
did. Yeah, I'll
Bring it.
hey, I'm trust me, I'm a whore for this industry. I have no problem with
A lot of these
it.
guys that are trained, I'm like, wow. I mean, clean work. So who the trainers, hats off to them because they're making sure that that little, oh, that's good enough. Nope, that's
Nope.
not good enough. So
No. No. Well, and it's like I refuse to teach wholesale. I won't. I don't teach it. I will not teach wholesale. It's like what we've all done it. We've all done wholesale. You've made a long livelihood career out of doing wholesale. God bless you, my friend.
yeah,
And I did it too for many years. And actually, my entire career, I've done wholesale also
wholesale's
with
dead.
retail.
It's dead.
As speaking of one of my boys, there's my great nephew just jumped in here, Ron Ingram. I trained him last year. Um, but I tell my guys all the time, it's like I refuse to teach you wholesale. I'm going to teach you to push a dent as cleanly as you possibly can. What you do in the real world, in your everyday life, in your job, in your business, what you have to do, if you can push to 95 and 98, you can push 70, my friend. Go for it. Do what you got to do. Make a living. But
It's
I'm not gonna teach you to push 70%. I refuse.
so I will say the markets are different. Like I've worked all over,
Yeah,
and every market is different from the
for
other. I mean,
sure.
I've got accounts that are within 20 minutes, different cities,
Hmm.
and the work level is and the pricing is completely different because
Oh, absolutely.
of the demographic and the
Yeah,
environment. So, it's I would just like to see that, hey, just do your best,
yeah.
get it as close to 100% as you can, please.
And, and you know what's funny to me? I mean, I did host, and I know you've seen this too. And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. So nobody, if you want to call me out, y'all can always call me out on something. I know, but I've done wholesale for so many years, and I've gone, because when you do wholesale, you get cars that someone else has worked on. It's just the nature of the beast, right? I mean, how many of us out there has gotten that car in? How many times have you, in your lifetime, in your career, that you've seen a dent that somebody else has worked on that you just honestly don't think they own a tap down?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, do you not own one? What the hell?
I got a call from a buddy of mine in Mobile. I mean, I'm sorry, Birmingham. He worked the auction. He was at MTE. He saw us clean up the Chevy Cruises. Now, if you remember the Chevy Cruises, they were the worst cars we've ever had for the Olympics. And I'm like, luckily this thing's white. I mean, we did our best to clean them up, and they still. I'm like, someone eventually is going to paint that car. I
Metal
get a call
soft.
8 months after MTE, and he's like, "You're not going to believe this."
No, it didn't. Tell me,
He
tell me it didn't happen.
takes a picture, sends it to me, and he goes, what do you think? I'm like, send it to your body shop.
Yeah, that's
Because
funny.
it was a General Motors, you know,
Yeah.
they were running, GM was running the cars at the Birmingham auction. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh dear
And
Lord.
I've done work there, so I know how that's one of the biggest body shops, auction body shops in the country. It's
Right.
huge. I
Wow.
mean, for the size of the auction, per
Right.
size.
Right.
Although, I mean, it doesn't really compare with Dallas or, you know, Atlanta or
Well, yeah.
some of
Yeah.
these other ones.
Yeah. Some of the
But
auctions that
anyway,
have 45 lanes running, you know. But yeah.
we would heat the lanes in those colder states. We would turn the heater on to like 90. We'd bring the cars in. We'd have like four, 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 and then we just heat them up. And I mean, they were just a joy to work on.
Well, I never got the opportunity, obviously, to push over at Manheim, Dallas. But of course, I think you remember I was in the wholesale car business for many years
Yeah.
before I got into PDR. So I was constantly at Manheim, Dallas, and Manheim, DFW, which is the one in Arlington. And oh my dear Lord, some of the crap I used to see come through
I'm,
there was crazy.
I've worked both. I worked at both of
Yeah,
those,
I know.
right there in Arlington. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It,
Hutchins and for Odessa, you know.
oh yeah, yeah. It's amazing how many times you and I probably crossed path back in those days, and we didn't know,
Yeah. A
and
lot of guys like, who's
and
this
here we are
guy at the
now.
auction? You know, they'd be like, who's this guy? And then I would go up and introduce myself, and we'd have a great conversation. I said, look, man, I am no threat. If anything, we should work together. And then they
Right,
realized that I'm no threat, and we should work together, and we
right.
did. You know,
Good.
that's
That's awesome.
kind of like, I like that better anyway.
I do
You
too.
know.
Well, my friend, is there any other shameless plugs we need to throw out?
You know, the expo is. I mean, we're going to talk more about it, and you're going to see these registrations open up. But I would just say if you can get there Wednesday or Thursday, that Friday morning, once we start opening up and the competition starts going,
Hmm.
we're going to be ready for people. Friday and Saturday are going to be amazing. We'll
Yeah.
shut down a little early Saturday. I'd like everyone to, you know, hey, there's great restaurants right there. If you've never eaten at Oscars at the Plaza,
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh,
so
it's
delicious.
amazing. I know.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's
Our,
excellent.
our the casino there's, you know, it's set nice. So
Yeah.
I would say, you know, the Plaza has everything you really need.
Hmm.
And the fact that the Fremont Street experience is right there,
Yeah.
there's tons to do. If you get bored on Fremont Street or just at the Plaza,
You shouldn't be in Vegas.
that's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and worst case scenario is you end up all the way down at the other end of Fremont at at one of the karaoke bars,
It's fun too.
which I don't necessarily know what that's like, but
Yeah.
you know,
I'm pretty sure we'll go to Hogs and Heifers. Circa has a really nice bar, Golden
yep.
Nugget. The D is right there. But
Hmm.
there's tons to do right on Fremont Street. Like you
Yeah,
don't have to go to bars and you know, I think there's a mafia museum there
I think you're right. You're right. And
around the corner. Yeah.
is the Heart Attack Grill still there? I think
What's that?
the
What is?
Heart Attack Grill. It's the burger
Yeah.
place down at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
It's
there.
still there.
Well, and the other super cool thing about being at the Plaza is the carousel bar downstairs is just the perfect launching place for all the
Anything.
extracurricular activities.
Anything. Because
Absolutely.
it's all shut down. So it's
Right.
just easy to go do stuff.
It
We're
is.
looking forward to it. We're excited. It's going to be
Uh,
great. Um,
Dates 20 and 21st.
20 and 21st of September. Yeah.
Right.
And the 21st, that night is free concert with Sublime. So
There you
you
go.
know, I'm
How can we
excited.
beat that? How can we beat
Yeah.
that? Well, that it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And like I said, don't forget, y'all jump out there on the Kevin Hellwood Foundation auction page, and you can even if you're not a vendor, anyone individually can sponsor my costume too. So you'll have mostly full control of my costume. So it's still up for grabs. And right now, as of this morning, it was the highest bid. I'm only worth $100. So, um,
Eh,
it is what it is. Which I won't say who's got it, but it's yeah. For some reason, he wants me to go in drag.
I'm gonna laugh though because when they start coming in like Price is Right, you know, $1 over. You
Yeah.
know? 101.
Hey, all the proceeds go to the foundation. So come on, you know.
That's awesome, buddy.
Well, no, it is going to be awesome, and I can't wait for it. Seriously. Where's the bid, John? I will put a link in on the post as soon as I go off air. But it's the Kevin Hellwood Foundation auction site where all the raffle ticket sales are as well. And yes, John, you better, because I already know what you want me to wear. So bring it there, Bubba. So yeah, I got you covered, my friend. And I will see you this weekend also, buddy. Can't wait. Matt, you too. Well, awesome
I
show,
wish I
buddy.
was seeing you guys, but hey, we're gonna
I,
have a nice weekend.
you are, and you have a
Yeah.
fabulous party down in the Bahamas, sir. We're going to be we're going to be up north enjoying the absolute fabulous weather we're hopefully having up there.
It's gonna be
So
amazing. Yeah,
I
have
can't,
fun.
I can't wait to get up there. I really can't. So and wear my costume for this weekend. So yeah.
Well, awesome. Have fun, brother. I
You
appreciate
too.
you
You
having me
take
on.
care. Say hi to Carrie
Yeah,
for me, please. And
I sure will. You
everybody,
do the same.
thank y'all so much. We hope you. I hope you have a great time. Have a great rest of your evening. Y'all be safe out there. And again, hope you're all doing great on the Hell Trail. Can't wait to see everybody at the PDR Expo. Don't forget about the Kevin Hellwood Foundation. It's such a great cause, and also can't wait for MTE. Looking forward to seeing everybody.